Hey guys and girls, how are you? We we had a weird problem. I hit the start of the show and just nothing happened. And I was like, that's very strange. It's supposed to play the countdown timer. So I had to like figure out what was broken and try and fix it very quickly. How are you all? Nana Lana's here, Rachel, Sienna, Peekaboo Cockatiel, Texas Roadrunner is here. Carolina made it, Marilanda, Sean, Diane Marie, Moonlight View. More on you in a second. I'll talk to you in a minute. Yeah, meet the principal after school. Danny Mitchell, how are you? Maria's here. I know it's very late. Thank you for joining us. I really appreciate it on this Friday night for all of you. Yes, it is. Super chats for tonight. Super chats for tonight. We'll draw it at the end of the show. And then tomorrow night we'll do one for the people who are members. So that'll be tomorrow. Tonight we'll do the one for super chats towards the end. All right. Some big breaking news overnight in Victoria. That murder in Rye, which is very south Melbourne, southeast Melbourne. Not even Melbourne, really. It's just slightly outside of that, but it's very south of Victoria. Um, they have made arrests, and it was very strange when the news came out. Originally, we were told they were looking for one man, and they arrested yesterday 4 men, all from Narre Warren. And yeah, I'll play the video for you, and you tell me what you think. I find it they kept this one very close to their chests throughout the whole investigation.
Homicide detectives have arrested 4 people over the shooting deaths of 2 people in a Rye home invasion earlier this month. Paramedics found a 29-year-old man and a 19-year-old woman with fatal gunshot wounds at the Parsons Street property. Those taken into custody are all from the Narre Warren area and aged in their 20s. Police say the parties were known to each other.
Like they knew a while ago, all parties known to each other. Yes, I don't think that makes the death of 2 people any better. They're like, "Oh, hey, your son died today in a shooting, in an aggravated home invasion, and armed robbery, but they were known to each other. I hope that makes you feel better." I don't think that's helping any families out at Christmas with the loss of their son, daughter, whoever. When you say when you say, "Oh, but they were known to each other." Oh, well, thanks for that very comforting news. It definitely helps our family at this difficult time. It says here a 24-year-old Narre Warren man has been charged with murder weeks after 2 people were found dead on Victoria's Mornington Peninsula in an alleged home invasion gone wrong. Victorian police announced the charges, which also included aggravated home invasion and armed robbery, on Friday night. That was last night for us down here. It came after homicide detectives arrested 4 men aged between 24 and 28, and all from the Narre Warren area earlier in the day for questioning. So they brought in 4 people but only charged 1. They're saying the remaining 3 men have been released from custody pending further investigation after being interviewed by police officers. The arrests and subsequent charges are in relation to an alleged shooting on Parsons Street in Rye just after 4 a.m. on December 2nd. Earlier that morning, a man and woman attended a home at that address and allegedly got into a fight with the residents. Emergency services were called to the address and found the suspected female intruder and a male resident with gunshot wounds. The 19-year-old woman from Mornington and a 29-year-old man from Rye both died, and they were pronounced dead at the scene. Meanwhile, the alleged male intruder fled from the house. Police believe all people involved knew each other and the incident was targeted. It's a very common word these days in crime stories. It's either targeted or not targeted. They're saying here the 24-year-old Narre Warren man was remanded to appear before Melbourne Magistrates Court next May. So a bit of a 5-month wait there. The investigation remains ongoing, and anyone with information is urged to contact Crime Stoppers on 1-800-333 0. So there you go. They do have a resolution to that murder now. Not quite what I thought. We need to know more details about if they were known to each other. Why would you need to home invasion your friend? Why would that be? Why would you need to do that? It seems a bit strange. Was this guy a bit of a drug dealer, and they decided to break into his home and steal his money and his, and his drugs? Is that what was going on? They went, "Hey, I know that guy. He's definitely got a lot of money. Let's go to his house and let's rob our friend or acquaintance or whatever they were." Rachel says, "Interesting. Maybe they knew who just wanted to find them." Seems like they've been sitting in Narre Warren for about 2 weeks just hanging out. Narre Warren is not too far away. So this happened in Rye. I can show you. Yeah, so it was robbery and a home invasion or attempted robbery. Hold on, I can show you the distance between Rye and Narre Warren. It's not like super far or anything. Here, I wonder if I can show you this. All right. So there you go. This is Rye all the way down here. I actually flew over this in the plane trip coming back from Tasmania. We flew over this peninsula here. So this is Rye. This is down near where the murders happened. The suspects all lived or were holed up all the way down here. Go down here a little bit, about an hour away. Down here in Narre Warren. So a lot of people call this, Narre Warren, Fountain Gate. There's a few different suburbs around here. So about an hour away. So you go Narre Warren train station. So why they were holed up so far away from Rye, it's a bit of a, they're not exactly from the same area. Video Reel, hello, good to see you. Moonlight View, good to see you too. Good to see you. Yeah, I don't know. I find it, one, why would you feel the need to take a weapon? And two, it just seems strange that you would bring this other woman with you and kill and shoot your home invasion target after he shot and killed the girl you came with. It's all a bit of a mess. It really is. Let me see if I can. So actually, this morning, Victorian Police put out a statement, and if I find it for you, 5 hours ago, yeah. So they amended this yesterday. They put out a different statement and then rescinded it. Hey, come on! I'm going to glue you to the microphone. Says here, homicide squad detectives have charged a man following the death of two people in Rye on the 2nd of December. Emergency services were called to the property on Parsons Street. We know that. They're saying here a male resident of the. We'll start up here. They say it's alleged a man and a woman had attended the address and became involved in an altercation with the residents of the property, which was a male and a female. The male died. The female is the one who called emergency services to the property while she was hiding in a bathroom. They're saying a male resident of the property and a female who attended the property were allegedly located with gunshot wounds. Medical treatment was provided. However, a 29-year-old Rye man and a 19-year-old Mornington woman passed away at the scene. It's alleged the parties were known to each other. Then they said here, a 25-year-old man, a 24-year-old man, both from Narre Warren, a 24-year-old man from Narre Warren South, and a 28-year-old man from Narre Warren North were arrested with the assistance of the Special Operations Group. You don't get the Special Operations Group treatment unless they think you're very dangerous. The Special Operations Group is sort of like your tactical team. They are the guys you see dressed in black. They have the Bearcat. They come to your house at 4 a.m. in the morning and kick in your door. They are the ones who don't mess around. sort of like your SWAT team in the USA. They say a 24-year-old from Narre Warren had been charged with murder, aggravated home invasion, and armed robbery, and that he's been remanded. So he's not going to go to court till May 2025. They say the other men could be arrested later, depending on how the investigation progresses. So we will see. We will see what happens. Miranda says, I was also grocery shopping today. A lot of people look stressed and tired. It's been like one of those weeks, right? You think even for me, you'd be like, oh, but Ping, you just went on a holiday. I feel like you need a holiday to get over the holiday. I need another week off to get over the week off. This is how it feels. SWAT doesn't mess around. No, they don't. So the SOG is they even have a another version of it called the Raptor Squad, and the Raptor Squad is like the elite version of the SOG. Here you go. This is the Victorian Police uh come and get you squad. They will come and get you and kick your door in. They have a bear cat or whatever this is, very similar to a bear cat. And there you go, dressed all in black. They like to hide their identities, so you can't track them down and kill them later. Uh, yeah, so you go. So they were arrested with they got the full special service from Victorian Police. They got the not just a cop coming to your door and telling you they want to chat. They had their door kicked in, probably very early in the morning. So at least they found that guy. Never needed public assistance. They never put out a call, with an ID or anything like that. So they must have had a pretty good idea of who that guy was. They just needed to find out where he was hiding. So, all right. So I'm guessing all of us have seen what happened today in Europe. I'm guessing we've all seen it. It is extremely sad. This morning when I woke up and I saw that another market in Europe had a car drive through it, I was like, is this what we're going to do a week before Christmas every year? Because it feels that way. We had one last year, and I think there was one the year before that. And it just seems like a tradition now that a week before Christmas, on the weekend before, that someone is very awful and drives a vehicle and kills a lot of people in some sort of Christmas market somewhere in Europe. And that happened again this morning. I mean, it's horrible. I mean, people are going to stop going to these markets if around Christmas if people keep getting hurt. People are going to actively avoid them, and it's going to take away from, when you go to Europe and they have these open air markets, they're so beautiful and they have heaps of like, fun things you can buy for the family, or things that food that they only make at Christmas that you have to go to the market to get. And it takes away from the holiday. It really does. Let me see if I can find you an update. So he was apparently a doctor, a Saudi doctor. Let me find this. Let me find the latest update, which was about an hour ago. They put out an update. Let's grab this. All right. No, that's not the one we want. Ping, what are you doing? Sorry, guys. Let me grab a better one than that. Here we go. Come on, Sky News. Oh, okay, fine. We'll watch this one.
Sky News and our continuing coverage of a deadly attack at a Christmas market in Germany. Here's what we know so far. 2 people have been killed, including a small child, and 68 injured after a car was driven at speed into crowds in the city of Magdeburg. 15 of those injured are in a serious condition. Police have arrested the suspected driver, a doctor from Saudi Arabia. However, he was not previously on the security forces' radar as a known Islamist. That's according to the DPA news agency. German Chancellor Olaf Scholz will visit the site tomorrow and says his thoughts are with the victims and their families. We stand beside them and beside the people of Magdeburg. The attack took place at around 7 p.m. local time tonight in Magdeburg, which is in the east of Germany, about 2 hours' drive from Berlin. A car drove into shoppers at the city's Christmas market. This is the route the driver took, reportedly driving 400 meters through the crowd. The suspect was arrested nearby. This is the moment police arrested the alleged driver nearby the location of the attack. The suspect can be seen exiting the car with hands raised before more police arrive at the scene. Well, Sky correspondent Saba Chowdhury is monitoring developments from the newsroom for us. And Saba, what more can you tell us about developments this evening?
You can see the chaotic scene that they have there. Look at all the emergency workers trying to stabilize people, get them to hospital, save people's lives. So far, I think they said it's 2 dead. There's over 50 people in different hospitals. Some of them have been released now. Just ridiculous. I mean, they're gonna have to put up, like, giant concrete bollards at the front of the market, like, that are, like, 8 foot high and about 2 foot wide to avoid this type of thing, to make a detraction so they don't wanna do it. Let me show you this. I can't show you the footage, I don't think. Maybe this one has it. But there is footage of the car going through.
A breaking news update now. Saudi Arabia's foreign ministry is now condemning an attack on a Christmas market in Germany that killed one toddler and one adult. Investigators say a Saudi doctor was behind the wheel of this car when it plowed through a crowded market in Magdeburg, just west of Berlin. 68 people were hurt, at least 15 are in serious condition. The suspected driver was arrested at the scene. Investigators say it appears to be a deliberate attack.
So give me 1 second. I will show you this if I can grab it. Go here. Let's see if I can do that. So this was the CCTV. It's very quick. But you can see that car, how fast. Well, this has been sped up a little bit, I think. Yeah, a little bit, maybe a little bit. You can see that guy drive right through the market and then exit down the other end. I mean, brutal. Imagine you're there with your family. I can't imagine what that must be like. Marlene says, my small town had its Christmas parade and they blocked the top and the bottom of the street with a large fire truck. That's a good idea. That's a good idea. Yeah, you see people just go flying. I mean, it's not something you ever want to. You see all these poor people that, and this guy, like, I mean, it's obviously deliberate. I mean, there's no question about that. He's doing like probably about 80 going through there. He had to have known that was going to hurt people. So, I mean, I think the police were maybe a little too nice to him. That they should have just pulled out the firearm and been like, "Whoa, you already killed 2 people. You know, we're gonna do addition by subtraction here, and just fire it." Sean says, "Did they actually cancel it? I know they were talking about it, but I didn't hear if they actually did. Hold on." I know the police were saying that they might do it. Oh, come on. Could be cancelled. Government heavyweight lose 11th hour bid to save New Year's Eve party. It says New South Wales Police could recommend cancelling Sydney's New Year's Eve fireworks. I don't know if they'll actually do it. I feel like that would be a real crappy thing for the cops to do. Let's see. All right, so they're saying it's some sort of union fight. I haven't seen anything that says that they'll actually. All right, we'll read that in a second. I just want to finish off this one, but we'll have a look after. Marlon Clausen said, "Yeah, it's sad that we have to do that because there's some sick people in the world like this guy who would rather hurt a bunch more people to prove some stupid point that no one cares about. Like, put your hands up in chat. Do you give a crap what that guy thinks or believes in or is angry about? No, I couldn't give a crap what he thinks, what he's angry about. I don't even care if he didn't do this. I still wouldn't care because that's how it works. April B says, "Why then we wouldn't see every country's New Year's?" I know. I hope they don't. A Saudi doctor. That's right. And a doctor, he would know what kind of injuries come from, cars hitting pedestrians, and to make that choice at a time where this time of year is supposed to be about, you know, coming together, being good people to each other, trying to, I don't know, spread some care in the world. Oh yeah, he's obviously just a like this country gave him a home, and this is how he repays that country by killing its citizens. I think that just shows you like what type of messed up mindset that guy had. Rachel said, "I'm sure he knew." Yeah, exactly. Especially driving that fast, and you know, I think a lot of people are getting sick of people treating our countries like crap when we give them a home or we invite them into our countries and they do crimes like this. I think a lot of people like the USA, England, Australia, Canada, a lot of other places, Europe, people are getting very, very sick of it. Yeah, we're going to do New Year's this year. Of course we are. We're going to do New Year's Eve. We're going to watch fireworks from around the USA and maybe Europe and Asia. And we're going to hang out and learn interesting things like about the potato festival in Idaho. I had no idea they had a potato festival until last year. So we're going to do that this New Year's Eve. He lived, that was footage of him here. Let me go back here. This was footage of him getting taken at gunpoint by the police. Where is it? Is it that one? It might be here.
His identity is yet to be confirmed, but it is believed that he is a doctor from Saudi Arabia who's been in Germany since 2006. Dr. Hasselhoff said in a press conference not to.
So I know it's very blurry, but that's him getting arrested by German police. It did say in that clip he had been in the country since 2006, and you know, it makes me sick to think that shouldn't you be grateful for the country letting you in? And if you don't like it and you have some sort of big giant, chip on your shoulder about something, you can head back home to Saudi Arabia if you want. I mean, it is an option. It's a better option than hitting people with a car, and you can just leave. Leaving, we always say on this channel, is always an option. Um, Same in this case. If you didn't like the country, you had something against Germany, then go back where you came from. I mean, I'm not saying that to be racist or anything. Just if you're not happy there, sure, your country would take you back with open arms. It just don't get hurting people that give you a home. There's so many people around the world that would love to be accepted by a country when they're not safe where they are right now. And I'm sure, maybe they would be a little more grateful. Rachel says, yes, the Idaho is a potato state. Sad thing is I live here. Most of the time the potatoes are from Washington. That doesn't sound right. Need some Idaho potato. Yeah, we're gonna watch what is it called? The Idaho Fest. No, they have like this potato festival, and then they drop a potato. Well, yeah, we watched it last year. Hold on, potato. It's yeah. Here it is. No, that's not it. That's in Victoria. No. Idaho. Apparently, we have a potato festival here too. I don't know why. Maybe we have a potato growing region. Yeah, let's go here. It's called what is it called here? Look, it has wings. It's a potato that can fly. There he goes. 10 days, 7 hours, and 29 minutes, and 40 something seconds. We get to watch the giant potato with wings fall from the sky to signal the gods are happy with us and 2025 will be very good for the crops of the region. I don't know. But we'll get to watch it. That's what we'll get to do. And there's a dude with a doing backflips. Very potato. So we're gonna do that. We're gonna do that at New Year's. April B says, seek mental health if you're thinking of harming so many people. You think a doctor would know that. That's right. Rachel says they ship all the good ones out. We have that problem here. Australia produces amazing meat, vegetables, fruit, and half the time the Australians get the crap. Like we get the really bad graded version, like so we get the B and C grade because we don't. Because they ship it, they exported all the A grade product to Europe and Asia, America. So a lot of times we don't get the good quality. Sean says, Western Australia, it's illegal to own more than 50 kilos of potatoes. We should do that. We should like all get 51 kilos of potatoes and then send in anonymous tips to Crime Stoppers and see if they'll raid our houses. We should do that. I mean, what an amazing video that would make. And they'd be like, we've got a search warrant. Yeah, for what? We hear you have 1 kilo of potatoes over the state limit of potatoes. We're gonna need to come in and weigh your potatoes. And I'll be like, you can weigh my potatoes, sure. That'd be hilarious. I don't know. I don't know. There's no snow here. There's no snow here. I can't even try. There's no snow. Oh, so what can you have now? You can have unlimited potatoes in WA. Sean says I can only think it was due to alcohol manufacture, like bootlegging. Maybe it's a potato drone. Well, we're gonna find out on New Year's Eve. We're gonna watch the potato drop. What is it called? The 2025 Urban Jam. I'm guessing that's not about the stuff you put on toast. It looks like a guy with a ski. Snowboard competition. I love snowboarding. That'd be great. Actually, when Ping was younger, Ping was a skateboarder, and I could do all sorts of tricks, jump off like three sets of stairs and down rails and stuff. That's why my knees are messed up at 40 because I skateboarded for 15 years. So I don't know if I could do what they do, but I'd say if you got younger Ping, I'd probably be pretty good at it. 40-year-old Ping, probably not so much. All right. Ooh, yeah, so New Year's Eve we'll do potato fun. What was the best one we saw last year? I know Texas was pretty good. We watched the San Antonio fireworks. They were good. I think the Disney one was pretty cool too. The Disney one's beautiful. They have all the music and all the characters and fireworks and different, stuff going on. That was that channel. We pinched some of their video. They're called Park Pass TV. They were a lot of fun. Very nice people. Sean says, we have or had potato inspectors. Oh, I'd love to see that. What are you applying for today? I'm applying to be a potato inspector. You realize this is a serious job and we need you to be on your guard every day and give 110% to finding illegal potatoes. Can I teach a French bulldog to skateboard? I think those dogs sort of they just do it. I don't think that they teach them. I think they sort of just have one and the dog sort of just does it. I don't think there's any training. They just sort of have it within them. Flying DJ says waiting for Ping to juggle and skateboard. No, I'm not getting on a skateboard at 40. No way. Juggling maybe. I just don't know where they are. We had a look for them, and we're not sure where we packed them away when we moved, but they're somewhere in the boxes somewhere. We have a couple of different sets of juggling things, but don't know where it is. Sean says my poodle rode my skateboard. Sounds like something you might say on your Tinder profile, and then you'd see how many women message you and ask you, "What are you talking about?" That would be a great pickup line. Gayla says my friend's English bully can. I need a video of that. Juggle while skateboarding. Yeah, I don't think I'm doing that. All right. We have more stories to talk about. We have more. So many. All of them. All right. Let's head here. By the way, I was reading a story yesterday, and I'm going to show it to you in a second. And I think it might be one of the most grossest stories I've ever heard of, like DV violence. It's awful. But the only reason I want to show it to you is not because a woman died, it's the way that it happened. I don't hear of this so often. And, we hear a lot of strangling, a lot of shooting, and stuff like that. I'll show it to you in a second. Also, it's Christmas time. So what does that mean? That means there's obviously more John Benet Ramsey in the paper. I'm not going to go through it. I just wanted to show you that the 28th article in 2 weeks. There's been 9.6 billion articles. Apparently, the Boulder, Colorado police put out a new statement, saying that they basically refute a lot of claims that the father is trying to say. They're saying, oh, they need to get outside help and they need to look at new DNA technology and, genetic genealogy to find the killer. Well, the Boulder, Colorado police were basically like, how dare you? And we've done all that and we still can't figure it out. So, yeah, this is a statement from me. I don't know if you guys have all seen this. I'm sure Trish showed it to you, but Boulder Police gave an update on it, and they were saying like we had a task force set up that took a year. We digitized all of the evidence and notes and interviews. So apparently they have this online database for John Benet Ramsey now, and it's all searchable by keyword. So it's no longer on paper or in evidence bags. It's all been digitized. They had a cold case review squad. They said it took a year to do just that and a year to prep for it. So it's a 2-year thing that they went through and had a look. I'm sure Trish showed you this, so I don't want to play it again. For people. Oh, she hasn't seen it? She didn't play it to you guys? Oh, I thought for sure she would have played it for you. Here, I'm not going to play John's version, but I'm going to play the Boulder PD.
Hello, my name is Stephen Redfern, and I serve as the police chief for the city of Boulder, Colorado. I'm speaking to you today on behalf of the Boulder Police Department to give an update on the investigation into the murder of John Benet Ramsey. As many of you know, this horrible crime happened in December of 1996, and our officers responded to investigate. While I was not at Boulder Police 28 years ago, I have worked in policing for more than 20 years, and I want to assure you that our agency is committed to doing everything we can to bring justice to John Benet and hold her killer responsible. So much of how law enforcement works has changed in the last 30 years. There are a number of things that people have pointed to throughout the years that could have been done better, and we acknowledge that is true. However, It is important to emphasize that while we cannot go back to that horrible day in 1996, our goal is to find JonBenet Ramsey's killer. Our commitment to that has never wavered. For years, our detectives have partnered with multiple agencies across the country, including our federal and state partners like the FBI and the Colorado Bureau of Investigation, as well as several outside forensic labs and DNA experts, to evaluate the latest advancements in technology, viable tips, and investigative leads. Our collaboration also includes the Colorado Cold Case Review Team, which is a panel of outside experts brought together in December of 2023 to review this case, generate additional investigative recommendations, and determine if updated technologies and or forensic testing might produce new intelligence or leads to solve this case. That review took a year to prepare for and included an intensive effort to digitize all evidence to create a comprehensive and searchable database containing thousands of information files. Those files include more than 21,000 tips, over 1,000 interviews, which were conducted across 17 states and 2 foreign countries, samples from more than 200 different individuals, including handwriting, DNA, fingerprints, and shoe prints, nearly 2,500 pieces of evidence, and roughly 40,000 reports with more than 1 million pages documenting the investigation. A fresh inventory of all collected evidence was made available for investigative review, which would not have been possible without the assistance of the FBI. The Cold Case Review Panel gave us a lengthy list of recommendations, which we are continuing to work through and evaluate. And though that review may have ended, our collaboration with those entities continues to this day. I know that our community would like to know more information and specifics on our progress, but like any major criminal investigation, there is no way that we can share that information publicly without compromising the integrity of this case and any future prosecution by the district attorney's office. What I can tell you, though, is that we have thoroughly investigated multiple people identified as suspects throughout the years, and we continue to be open-minded about what occurred as we investigate the tips that come into detectives. I can also tell you that detectives are regularly investigating some aspects of this terrible crime, and I receive updates frequently. We are hopeful that the renewed public attention will generate more tips, and we encourage anyone who has any information to contact our detectives at the following email: bouldersmostwanted@bouldercolorado.gov. In the interest of transparency, I also think it's important for the community to know that our department has had ongoing conversations with JonBenet's family, the last of which occurred in mid-2024, and we are committed to continued open dialogue.
There you go. It's basically a huge rebuttal to John, basically saying, all those things that you told us to do, we've already done. I don't know if that dispute between Boulder PD and the JonBenet's family, I don't know if it's ever going to be resolved. Nonetheless, I'm also over any news that has to do with the Valor crime show. I know there is another trial, but I'm sick of it. Yeah, I didn't do anything on Valor this year. After doing the two trials, I was like, I'm done. I've had enough. Even though, it's never over for the family. I'm just a little, whatever you call it, over it. Texas Roadrunner, thank you very much. I appreciate that. Thank you for the super chat. I will add your name. I will. Kathy Lynn says it couldn't hurt for a new team to look at it. I think anything to finally put an end to it, one way or the other. I don't care. I don't care if they arrest every person in the family, and I don't care if they arrest some weird guy who lives in Boulder's National Park who's afraid of technology or something, and whatever John said in that documentary, some weirdo that was contacting him for like 5 years saying, I killed your daughter. I don't really care as long as they close the case. It doesn't bother me. Ain't gonna change my life. I don't really care if they. I mean, it's just so before my time. It's just not okay. I get a lot of questions. Ping, can you do JonBenet Ramsey? I really just it doesn't pique my interest that much. But I thought I'd bring you the update from Boulder PD because it's always interesting when they speak. You hear a lot from the family. You don't hear a lot from the Boulder PD. They don't talk very much about the case. So to hear about the work they've been doing on it is very interesting. Um, so, for that little girl to have been dead, what is it this year? Almost 30 years, almost 30 years. She, yeah, she deserves some sort of justice, whoever did it. April B says someone in the house did it, then the mum wrote the note at the end. Does seem like, yeah, there seems to be clues there that no one wants to pull the thread at. Marilander says Trisha is obsessed with the case. I think because I don't know if it's what got her into true crime or it's like that one big case that she sort of started with at the time. And I think we all have a case that's like that, right? For me, it's Brittany Drexel. Brittany Drexel and the Long Island serial killer cases. They're the two that I really, can go over and over and over and over with. Um, for her, I think it is John Bonet. So, fair enough. We all have our different cases that are our like pet cases type thing. All right, let's keep going. We have more murders to talk about. There's this one out of Victoria, Sydney, Australia. I want to show it to you because the manner of disposal of the body is so strange, and not strange. We all know that this can be done, but I don't think I've ever heard of it being done like recently. So hold on a sec. Okay, here we go.
A mother has collapsed, sobbing in court as she learned her daughter's murderer could be free from jail in 16 years. Arnima Hayat was pregnant when her husband killed her and dumped her body in acid. The judge today ruled the murder was in the, quote, mid-range.
Arnima Hayat was 19 years old, pregnant, studying medicine, and married to a man who became her killer. Miraj Zafar today sentenced for murdering his wife of 4 months in a rage and trying to dispose of her body in a bathtub full of acid in January 2022. The relationship overtaken by Zafar's violent and controlling behaviour. She'd told friends she'd been bashed and choked, and neighbours heard arguing from their North Parramatta apartment. On the night of her murder, she texted a friend, "I have nobody except you." He said, "You have got no choice. You have to stay with him." She replied, "No, I hate him." Within 45 minutes, she was dead. Hayat either strangling or smothering her. The next day, driving his truck to Bunnings and buying 5 20-litre tubs of hydrochloric acid. When he was arrested, he said, "I don't want to do 20 years, later claiming he was hearing voices. But the judge dismissed that today, saying he acted in anger at the prospect of her leaving him.
It's funny how they all seem to have imaginary hearing voices and mental health issues when they're caught for the crime that they committed, and you full well. You can't I don't think you can claim some sort of insanity when you go to Bunnings and buy 20 liters of hydrochloric acid to dissolve your pregnant ex-partner with. I mean, I struggle to see how your lawyers could make that defense. Um, this was a controlling thing, and that's it. He couldn't handle the rejection of her leaving him, so he decided to do what all brutes do, and decided to kill her, strangle her with his bulging biceps or whatever, and then decided to try and maim and disfigure her body with the hydrochloric acid. 20 liters. That is, is there no criminal checks that you need to do to buy that much? Like, I mean, if you buy like a little bit just to do some sort of something that you need to get whatever it's used for, that's fine. I see that would happen quite frequently. But 20 liters without some sort of like, oh, do you need this for like your work, or there's no checks, no ID? I find that very strange considering it's known to use to dissolve humans. Marlene says, how are your in-laws doing? Not great. They're still not home. Their house still has no power because there was electrical fire in the power switching thing for the entire apartment complex. So no one in like 50 units has any power, and they're staying with family right now. And my mother-in-law is sick. She caught like a cold or COVID or something on the flight, so she's now dealing with being ill while not in her own home. And we're not sure if we're doing Christmas anymore, because if she's not feeling so great, then because she's the one who hosts and does Christmas, so we're not sure if we're going to do it anymore. Yeah, it might be postponed for a week. We might do it closer to New Year's. Rachel says he knew exactly what he was doing. I agree. I think that, you know, I find it funny the first thing he reached for was, I'm hearing voices. Yes, they're the voices yelling at you saying, why'd you kill my daughter? They're not the ones who told you to go buy hydrochloric acid. They're the ones asking you questions, and we often call them police officers. This is actually an interview. They're asking you about your crime. They're the voices you're hearing. Now you're hearing a judge telling you off for being a brute and a DV, perpetrator. They're the voices you're hearing. It ain't anything else. You don't have any magical voices in your head. You're not, you can't try that old chestnut. So at some point, these men have to take responsibility for the crimes they perpetrate against women. It's becoming a bit of a joke that you can just be like, oh, I was hearing voices, so I decided to kill her. No, that doesn't work like that. But here's a photo of a man who murdered his pregnant wife in a North Parramatta unit, jailed for more than 2 decades. I would say that her parents would consider that a very light sentence. He'll be eligible for parole in 2038. That's not very long. Like, I think we could all sort of imagine what 2038 might look like. We'd be like, it's only about a decade away. That's not that long for doing what he did. They say he pleaded guilty to murder in May after police found her body in a North Parramatta unit in January 2022. Zafar had placed Miss Hyatt's body in a bathtub filled with hydrochloric acid. Also, he's really dumb. If he turned it into piranha, it would have done what anyway. I'm not giving people instructions. It says here, Miss Hyatt's family was in court for proceedings on Thursday and broke down when the sentence was announced. In the Supreme Court in Sydney, Justice Deborah Sweeney jailed Safar for 21 and a half years. The 23-year-old appeared in court via video link and looked down at his feet throughout, placing his hands on his head after he learned his sentence. Why? What exactly did you think they were going to do for you? Say that you were not guilty? Say, you can have 2.5 years. I think he should have been prepared after a lengthy trial that the possibility of 20 plus years in jail was a real possibility and almost a probability. So, don't know what's with the hands on the head. Is it the voices again? Are they talking to you? Okay. They say the victim regretted marriage and spoke of abuse. The court heard how Miss Hyatt told friends she regretted marrying Zafar in a private ceremony in 2021 without the knowledge of their families, it's really bad in their religion and their culture. Family is a big deal, and to do it in secret is like really negative. They say in the lead up to her death, she spoke of him being abusive and bashing her to a friend, but didn't file a complaint to police, which is not unheard of in DV cases. In 2021, Safar said, "I will kill you," to her father, which led to an AVO being issued. The day before her death, she had texted a friend saying, "I have nobody except you." They replied, "You have got no choice. You have to stay with him." That friend is terrible. Whoever that friend is, that's bad advice. Justice Sweeney said Zafar killed her the next day by obstructing her breathing or smothering her. He then drove to Bunnings and purchased the 20 liters of hydrochloric acid, which he poured over her lifeless body in the couple's bathtub in an attempt to dispose of it. Justice Sweeney then said he Googled, "Can hydrochloric acid burn through skin?" several times, later purchasing additional containers of the corrosive substance to pour into the bathtub. Yeah, they say she also said Miss Hyatt was pregnant at the time of her death and her body had to be identified via DNA testing. They say Zafar communicated with his mother, who later called an ambulance, advising officers that her son had been in a very bad fight with his wife and she was not breathing. Oh, yeah, that would be a weird thing to do. Imagine that. The cops rock up to the door and they're like, "Okay, buddy, it's fine. We understand you get in fights with your partner or whatever. It's okay. We're just here to help your wife. Ain't no one getting arrested today. Show us where your wife is." And then he leads them to the bathtub and said, "She's right there. She stopped breathing." They're like, "You understand she's in what looks to be a bathtub full of acid, and people are often dead when they're in acid." You know, the mother basically dobbed him in. They said, when officers arrived at the apartment, Zafar had left and they observed a strong chemical odor in the air. The mother says, her mother says, "I miss my daughter every day." Zafar later handed himself into police where he was charged with his wife's death. He pleaded guilty to the offense in May, with her family giving a powerful victim impact statement to the court. Her mother said, "I miss my daughter every day." Oh, no, that's her dad. "I miss my daughter every day, and I see her face in my dreams." Um, he says, "He burned the face I used to kiss every night." He says, "You killed my daughter, you broke my future, you broke my family, and you broke my heart." At the conclusion of the sentencing, Miss Hyatt's family and mother broke down on the floor of the courtroom. He'll be eligible for parole in 2038. He should never be released. Why are we releasing people that do this to people? I don't care if it was a guy. If you did this to a male, it's the same. Why would we release someone who has that mentality to do that to anyone, yet alone a woman? It's ridiculous. 21 and a half years, available for parole in 14 years. He'll be up for parole in as little as 14 years. It's ridiculous. He needs a non-parole order. How can you let someone back into the community who's willing to douse his partner in a bathtub full of hydrochloric acid? Why? We throw people in prison for life for less than this. Less. We've seen people do less heinous crimes and get a life order. Yet this guy will be released in less time than if you had a baby today. They wouldn't even be finished high school when he's allowed to get out of jail. That is disgusting. It really is. April B says needs prison time for the unborn child too. Another 20 years. Another 20 years for the kid. Yep, life in prison, no parole. Like, we're giving far too many chances to people who are willing to kill people and end their life in these kind of brutal ways. Not only that, but deny their family a final moment and goodbye with their children or loved one because of the maiming they do to the body. I mean, you should get extra time for that. That should be an aggravating factor on sentencing. Kathy Lynn says, "Do you feel like DV is still not taken seriously enough?" I don't know if it's that it's not taken seriously enough. I feel like it's become, well, we went through this. I was speaking to Mrs. Ping about this earlier. It seems like we hear a lot about domestic violence murders, right? But they actually account for a very small proportion of the total murders in any country. The difference between male and female is female murders are almost 100% DV murders, almost unilaterally. It just is. But with men, men are murdered by a very fragmented span of different ways. Could be a friend, could be gangs, could be a random person who picked a fight and killed them, could be DV, could be a family member. Like, it's spread out so wide, and that's the difference. The the female amount out of the total murders is much smaller, but the problem is so acute because it's just DV. It's always a relationship murder. That's why we hear so much more about it, as where the men tend to get killed in different ways. It could be they get shot by someone, or they're involved in high risk activity, that type of thing. So I don't know if it's about that we don't take it seriously, and I also feel like the courts hearing so much over and over and over and over, they're sort of like, "Oh, another one? Oh, we just had one last Thursday. Oh, we gave him a 18 years. Oh, we'll give this guy 18 years, you know? Hey, killing a wife, haven't we all done that? Oh, sure. You'll be out. You'll be out before you're 40. No worries. You'll still be able to have a family and, you know, have more children and find a different wife that you can kill. No worries. You'll be able to find maybe even 2. You got many years left in your life to find more women to kill." So I don't know if it's not being taken seriously, or the courts are just not using the powers that they have in the correct way to punish these people who do commit violent acts against women. There has to be some sort of court reform for DV abuse and murders, but also bail reform to not let these guys out when they are taken in, and make those bail, you know, how they reach bail much harder, instead of just a revolving door. Like, I got charged, I'm out again. I commit a crime, I'm charged, and I'm out again. Like, it can't be a revolving door. It doesn't teach anyone anything. It teaches them that, oh, I can get away with this and no one's going to do anything to stop me until the person is actually dead. So, courts are becoming desensitized in a way. I believe so. Judges need to be held accountable too. Yes, 21 and a half years may be the definition of a life sentence in Australia, but it feels far too less of a sentence when you say, yes, he has 20 years in prison, but his parole eligibility is only 14 years. That doesn't feel fair to anyone, because I can tell you that 14 years goes like that. I can remember 14 years ago, and today it just went very quickly. So he'll be out of jail before we all realize it, and she'll always be dead. She'll always be gone. Same with her unborn child. That child will never be born. So it's it's not good enough. Not good enough. Got to hold these people accountable, and I don't think letting him back out in 14 years is holding anyone accountable. I think all that tells you is that other men who have a propensity to hurt women will look at that and say, "Yeah, I could do 14 years for killing this bitch. I could do it. 14 years? Yeah, I think that's not too bad, and I can kill her. Sure, I could do that." Yeah, that's all that does. Sends a message that the punishment is not that scary. It's not that, severe. Rachel says he should have been charged for the baby too. I don't know why they don't do that here. I know in America they have started to charge people for unborn child, but I don't think they do it here. I'd have to double check. I don't think I've ever heard of anyone being charged for unborn child in Australia. I know I have in the USA though. Hold on, let me see here. Yeah, so here it says here. Okay, in Australia, unless a child can take an independent breath, the child is not recognized as a legal person and therefore cannot be deemed a victim of crime of murder or manslaughter. This legal position is reflected in most jurisdictions in Australia. So there you go. Not here, unfortunately. Though those children are not recognized as human beings until they are until they're birthed is the way I would say it. I could think of a more crude way to say it, but we're talking about a very serious topic right now. April B says, yeah, sad. I agree. But then you get into the whole what is a life situation, and that's a conversation not for this channel. I'm not doing it. I don't get paid enough. I don't get paid enough to have that conversation with you guys. Yeah, when are you legally a person? Under Australian law, a life is recognized at the point where there is independence from the mother. This means the child becomes a legal person when the child can take its first independent breath, otherwise known as the born alive rule. Therefore, unless the child can take an independent breath, the child is not recognized as a legal person and therefore cannot be deemed a victim of crime of murder or manslaughter. So there you go. They say the legal position is reflected in most places in Australia, Victoria, the ACT, the Northern Territory, South Australia, Tasmania, and Western Australia do not recognise the life of an unborn child as being separate from that of its pregnant mother. But in a different situation under administrative law, the parents can be legally granted a birth and distribution. No, we don't care about that. Wait, what state is missing from there? New South Wales is not on that list. Here, there are some states that have made changes. In 2021, some 12 years after the laws were first introduced to Parliament, New South Wales has passed laws that impose tougher penalties for crimes that result in the loss of an unborn child. Wait, hold on. That guy was from New South Wales. So how come they didn't enact... Wait, January 2022. Why did they not charge him with that? So apparently the law is called Zoe's Law, and that is the law they brought in for tougher penalties for crimes that result in the loss of an unborn child in New South Wales. Interesting. All right. I want to know why they didn't charge him with that then, with the Zoe Law.
It's taken more than a decade of campaigning, but tonight our justice system is a step closer to recognising the life of an unborn baby. Legislation known as Zoe's Law has been introduced to Parliament, which will see jail sentences for criminals who cause the death of an unborn child.
Two women bonded by two dreadful tragedies. Brodie Donegan lost her unborn baby girl Zoe to a drugged driver on Christmas Day in 2009. Jackie Sparks lost her daughter Mia after a collision with a driver on ice. Both little girls were only weeks away from being born, yet the law did not recognise them as human beings.
I just remember very early on in the piece when we first started, I just didn't want to have anybody else have to navigate this.
In Jackie's case, the crash was so bad, her uterus ruptured, leaving her unable to have children again. But the driver could not be charged with killing her baby.
This should have been already in place. It should have already been a law. Our children should already have been recognised, so it shouldn't be something that's just coming on now.
To make killing an unborn child a crime, Zoe's Law has been 12 years in the making. but political paralysis and abortion rights protesters have held it up.
This bill does not in any way affect a woman's ability to obtain a lawful abortion under existing New South Wales legislation.
The unborn child will need to be 20 weeks or 400 grams for a person to be charged with an offence, which can carry up to 28 years in jail.
It's going to be something that we can leave to future families and to future mothers.
That may be why they didn't charge Zafar with the murder of the unborn child, because they didn't meet the definition under this law, which was where they said it just here. Has to be 20 weeks or 400 grams. 20 weeks. Hold on, what would that be? Ping's napkin math. Hold on, 20, because apparently I can't do math while I'm on the show. So it has to be at least in 5 months. So a month short of the second trimester. So, or is that the second trimester? Or near the end of the second trimester. So yeah, maybe that's why they didn't charge him with it. Yeah, very, very sad. Because what was she? Does it say? Let me see if I can find out how pregnant she was. Oh. I complained to friends. She was 4 months into her marriage. She was 4 months into her marriage. Pregnant wife. It doesn't say. It says she was only 4 months into her marriage. So maybe she was under the definition from that law, unfortunately. Halfway of 9 months. Okay, that makes sense. So there's only one state in Australia, though, which is New South Wales. So yeah, I'm guessing she must have been under 4 months, which is very sad, because he could have gotten, what is it, 28 years? Yeah, up to 28 years in jail. So if they combine that with the murder charge of the mum, he could have had a 48-year jail sentence for the both of them. I don't know how long they had known each other. Let me see. Had known. I don't know, but they had a very quick romance by the sounds of it, and a very quick eloping together away from family, which apparently she hated because she wanted her family involved. Hold on, let me just double check something. Okay. All right, I'm just trying to see if I can track down. So apparently they married in a private Islamic ceremony in October 2021 without friends or family in attendance, and killed her at the apartment. Yep. I don't know. It doesn't say how long they had known each other. Yeah, just that it was sort of like a quick courtship, whatever that would mean. Yeah, they got married in 2021 without the parents knowing. But I don't know how long they knew each other before that. Gayla says maybe he baby trapped her to marry him. Maybe, because I know that she it says here in a few different articles I can see that she hated that they had a private ceremony without their family and friends, which is a big deal. See, Zafar and I'm going to pronounce her name wrong, but is it Anima? Married in a private Islamic ceremony in October 2021 without family and friends in attendance, according to the Sydney Morning Herald. Was found just a few months later after he killed her. Oh, it was like months later in the apartment. How gross. He'd kept her in that bathtub for months. Ugh. After the murder, Zafar, who pleaded guilty, bought the acid, which he put in the bathtub. Yeah. Okay, we know that. Yeah, it doesn't say, but yeah, unfortunately, it doesn't have more details on it. Just what I've already told you. Unfortunately. All right. Not long enough to see red flags. Yeah, I'm always wary of people who have whirlwind romances. Like you meet and then you get engaged like within 6 months and you're married at like 9 months. Like I think that's not long enough to know someone, and it's not long enough to know what you're getting into. I am a big believer of you have to live together before you get married, because then you really understand who the people are. Like you get an unglossy, sparkly view of who you're actually going to marry and what they're like. And I think you should do that for every couple, to really understand the person that you're going to spend the rest, well, supposedly spend the rest of your life with. How do you pronounce it? Rinama? Okay. Anima? Anima. There you go. I can't handle names where they have silent letters. They just don't compute in my head. Did he use that bathroom? I don't know. People can still put on an act. They can, but I think it's much harder if you spend a lot of time together. That's why during COVID-19, when they had a lot of the lockdowns, there was a lot of couples that broke up because they realized the errors in their relationship and couldn't go past it once they realized it, because they had spent so much of their lives not being around each other, always at work, only seeing each other at night, but not spending any true time with each other. And COVID made that by force, like they had to. We had a family member that went through that. She realized what her husband was up to during during COVID, and realized that he had been sucking all the money out of they owned a business together, and she was the only one who actually had the skill at the business. I can't tell you what it is for privacy reasons, but I can tell you that she was the one with the talent. Um, he had been pilfering money out of it, and still to this day, they don't know where the money went. And it's like we're talking like hundreds of thousands, millions of dollars. And she figured it out during COVID when she wasn't working, because apparently what he would do is he would book her up so much that she just had no time to think. From 8 a.m. in the morning to like 6 p.m. at night, he would book her with clients constantly, constantly. And she worked like 6 days a week, every week. Gambling? Possibly. It's possibly it was gambling. We don't know though. We don't know. We think so. We think possibly gambling, possibly Bitcoin or something like that. Some sort of um, like that type of thing, like cryptocurrency. Because it's funny, at when all this unraveled in COVID, the lockdowns, Bitcoin took a dive, and he suddenly had no money. Yet he had lots of money beforehand. And we believe that it's possible that, maybe combined with gambling, but also the Bitcoin value tanking, like severely tanking, that he may have lost a lot of the money he had invested. So we need to abolish the letter K that starts with. That's right. Hold on, guys. 1 second. All right. Yeah. So, uh, we believe that's probably what happened. But yeah, it happened to our family. We had an auntie that happened to. So I am a big believer of it. Natasha says hello, everyone. Hello. Sean H. That's right. We're going to call him Sean H. Or we're just going to use the letter H instead of a K. Okay. All right. Hold on. I was hoping we were going to have an update on a different story, but nothing came out today, unfortunately. I was hoping to have more updates on the two found at Botany Bay, but so far they're staying pretty tight-lipped about that. Actually, right now in Australia, I don't know if you know, but right now is sort of our peak bushfire season, and there's a huge bushfire in Victoria right now. Huge, huge fire. Here you go. You guys can see some footage from it. Just the other night down the road from me, we could smell smoke, and I was like, "Do you smell that?" And she's like, "Yeah," and the entire apartment smelled like a bushfire. And I was like, "Where is that coming from?" There was no alerts. We didn't get anything on our phones, but we went for a drive down the road, and there's a giant bit of bushland down the road, and it was complete. There was a huge fire there, and there was all these fire trucks, and they were trying to put it out. Luckily, they were able to get on top of it very quickly and put it out. But we we almost had a bushfire down the road. So there is a big one going on in the Grampians right now in Victoria, and you can see it's peak bushfire season for us down here at the moment. Similar to like in summer in LA or other places. That was the clothing from the wedding. Yeah, it still smells terrible. We have to take it to dry cleaning and get it done. It literally smells like wood fire. The whole everything. When we put it in the cupboard after I got changed, after I hopped off the live stream with you guys, I got changed and we put it in the cupboard. I opened the cupboard in the morning and I just got a waft of like campfire, like campfire. Rory. Oh, girl. Hey, Muff, what's wrong? There's cats everywhere. There's a cat right here. I know you guys can't see him. There you go. There's his little ears. Hey, Muff. There's a little cat. He keeps sleeping next to me. Hey, Bobby. What you doing? You staying with the... Oh, Dad's not giving you any room. Okay. Sorry, boy. Sorry. I got to do a show. And there's another cat over there. Gayla says, put it in a bag away from your other stuff. We did. We had dry cleaning bags with us that we had the suits and the dresses in when we went to Tasmania. And after the wedding, anything that smelled like smoke, we put in the bags. So we're gonna take it to the dry cleaner because it stinks like smoke. It smells like I've been smoking again. I don't smoke, but it smells like I do. But yes, all right. All right, what time is it? 5:22. Okay, we got a little bit more time. A little bit more time. It's very late at night for everyone. By the way, over the holiday season, keep an eye out because we will be doing some early shows again. We'll be doing some shows at like 9 p.m. again. So keep your eyes out. Hey, Cheated No More. Good to see you, my friend. Yeah, well, he has. He won't leave me alone. Like you can see, he's right here on my chair, and he won't leave Dad alone, which he's never done before in his entire life. He just won't leave me alone. The other one is with Mum over there, hanging out with Mum. So she's snuggling up with her on the couch. All right. All right, let's go here. Let's go. Oh, Richard Allen got sentenced? Who sent me this? Oh, I didn't. Okay, we could talk about that. That's very interesting. I didn't know. I've been a little out of the loop. Let's head to this one. Hopefully that's okay. No, we can't use that one.
Right now out of Indiana. The man convicted of the Delphi murders case has been sentenced to 130 years in prison, which is the maximum punishment for his crime. 52-year-old Richard Allen was found guilty last month of kidnapping and killing 2 teenage girls Abigail Williams and Liberty German back in 2017.
The murders sent shockwaves through that small Indiana town of Delphi. But today, the victims' families say they finally feel some sense of justice. NBC News correspondent Adrian Broaddus joins us now. So, Adrian, the families of these girls have not been able to speak publicly about this case because of a gag order, but the judge lifted that today. What are these families saying now that Allen has been sentenced to the maximum penalty?
You know what these families say? There's a sigh of relief, but this is not a day of celebration. We heard from the grandparents of Abby Williams, and her grandfather said the last 8 years have been like losing a limb. I'm paraphrasing here, that will never grow back. Her grandmother said this is a day of sadness for everyone. When the judge handed down that maximum sentence, 130 years for Richard Allen, she said, quote, "You rank right up there with the most hideous cases I've presided over." And looking directly at Allen, she went on to say, "These families will deal with your carnage forever." Now, today, there was so much gratitude from both families. Take a listen.
I really wanted to take the time to send out my appreciation that justice has been served for the girls. This community has embraced our families from day one and continues to lift us up and support us. And again, for that, I'll always be grateful.
So I'm gonna stop it there. I agree. That is a hell of a sentence, and it sends a deterrent to the community, even though these crimes will probably happen again. But it does send more of a message that you can't hurt people and you can't hurt little girls. And 130 years is he'll never see the light of day again. I like that sentence, but I'm happy for the families that at least hopefully with no appeal it's over, and I don't know, they can keep working with the foundations that they've made for their daughters and keep their legacy alive. And it feels like yesterday when I heard those news reports, right? It really does. I remember when they came out, I I can't remember what news station it was, but I saw this alert come up and it said 2 girls from Indiana are missing. And I was like, missing? And I checked and they're like, they were last seen at this park and they're searching for them. And I was like, oh my God, I hope they find them. I hope they're not lost. And then about 12 hours later, they're like they had been found dead. And then the giant machine of true crime and crazy people started going into overdrive. And it's been, what is it? It was 2017, right? So it's what, 7 years, 8 years? It's been a long time to get to this point where the person responsible for the murders of, according to the court, has been now sentenced and will go to jail. Cheatham says it's about time that is a proper sentence. No hope for RA ever getting out. Well, I hope it sticks unless he really isn't guilty. We'll see. Gayla says it doesn't seem like it was last year. Yeah, I remember those original media reports because they were saying they just thought that 2 girls had got lost at the park because they didn't show up to their pickup and they just were looking for them. I still remember that very vividly. Yeah, I hope if he really is guilty and there's no appeal, then the families can finally move past this chapter of you know, the process of losing someone to such a violent crime. All right, that's good. I'm not going to go too deep into it. I'm sure other people have covered it, but at least that's a good sentence. Here, let's go here. Let's go to Maine. I don't think we do very many stories out of Maine. I don't think we do too many. So this is a rare one for us.
Now at 10, a woman from Sydney is at the Kennebec County Jail tonight, charged with the murder of a 14-year-old boy.
Law enforcement claim Megan McDonald told them an incident happened at her home and the teen's body was found outside the home. Bonnie Bishop has more on what we know about this case right now.
After a woman reported to police that something happened at her home, officers came and did a well-being check, and that's when they discovered the 14-year-old dead outside of this house. Maine State Police spending the day at that home in Sydney, processing the scene and investigating what happened. The chief medical examiner says the 14-year-old was murdered and died from asphyxiation, strangulation, and sharp force injury. 39-year-old Megan McDonald is now charged and at the Kennebec County Correctional Facility. While the teen's name is not yet public, earlier in the day, the RSU 18 superintendent notified students and parents of the death of a Messalonsky High School student, also confirming that there is an ongoing police investigation into the student's death. But police have not said if the two incidents are connected. Maine State Police say the investigation is still ongoing. In Sydney, I'm Bonnie Bishop for Maine's Total Coverage.
Thank you.
Yeah, here as you heard on that video, a Maine woman is accused of killing a 14-year-old boy who was found dead outside of a Sydney home, according to authorities. Megan McDonald, 39, is being held at the Kennebec County Jail and has been charged with murder. Maine State Police officials said a woman arrived at the Androscoggin County Sheriff's Office shortly before 5:30 a.m. Friday to report an incident that happened at her home on Summerhaven Road in Sydney. They say the county sheriff's office then contacted the Kennebec County Sheriff's Office as the home was in the latter agency's area. They say the Kennebec County deputies conducted a well-being check at the residence and discovered the 14-year-old dead outside. They said an autopsy was conducted at the chief medical examiner's office in Augusta. The autopsy determined that the teen's cause of death was a combination of asphyxia, manual strangulation, and sharp force injury. The manner of his death has been ruled a homicide. They say the state police, detectives, and evidence response technicians responded and investigated throughout the day. Police said McDonald was taken into custody about 1:45 p.m. that day. The boy's identity is being withheld at this time, and authorities shared no further details about the case. They're saying here on Friday morning, Regional School Unit 18 Superintendent Carl Gartley informed the high school community that a student had died. That student's name was not shared by the superintendent, who cited an ongoing police investigation. That's it. There's her. Why do the women get yellow and the boys get green? There's her booking photo. What's with her hair? Is she a cancer patient or something? She's got this weird hair where some of it is shaved and then some of it is longer. What is going on here? Can you guys see that? Like, I mean, I'm not trying to make fun of her. If she is a cancer patient, I get it. But if not, what is going on? It looks like she shaved part of her head. It is very sad for the classmates. It is. Yeah, Megan McDonald. Let's see if I can find a different photo of her. No. That's the only one they're showing. How weird. Let me try going. All right, let's go here.
Today was the last day of school before break, before the students were leaving, and they had to leave school knowing that they lost one of their classmates. The RSU 18 superintendent let the students and family know earlier today that a classmate had died. The superintendent saying, quote, "Our thoughts and prayers are with their family and friends during this difficult time," and also confirming that there is an ongoing police investigation into the student's death. Now, we're still looking to confirm some more information at this point, but while students are officially on break, the superintendent is encouraging them to come to school tomorrow to see counselors. Live in Oakland, I'm Bonnie Bishop for Maine's Total Coverage.
Very strange. I don't know what's going on with it. No, it's shaved. I'm telling you, I can see it on my screen. Hold on. Look. See, up here, it's shaved here. It's longer in other parts. It's shaved here. It's longer in other parts. And it's long here. I don't think it's pulled back or anything. Guys, give me 1 second. Hold on. Sorry, guys. Mrs. Ping's feeling really sick again. I'm not sure what's going on. Her condition or whatever has flared up really badly today, and she's feeling very, very ill. I'm just trying to keep an eye on her because sometimes it flares up. Yeah, most days she's not fine, but she's not in pain. But it just for some reason today it flared up really badly, and she's not doing so good. She was alright earlier, and then just over the last few hours, she's sort of gone downhill a little bit. I might have to get off here soon, guys. I might have to go help her. April B says maybe it is shaved. The very top is shaved. Maybe a bad hair day, and she shaved it off. Maybe. Yeah. Well, yeah. I'll just see what she says when she comes back this way in a second, and then we might have to go. Yeah, she has pain meds. That's fine. She does have pain meds. It's okay. Yeah. Just want to make sure she doesn't need more help. Yeah. All right. Let's try and wrap this up. Let me try and grab all the names for the membership, the super chat giveaway. Hold on. Give me like 2 seconds. I'll see if I can get them from my files, and see. I might have to add a few. Give me 1 minute. Are you guys sure? I mean, if you give me 5 minutes, I can do it. But yeah, I hope she feels better. Yeah, I hope she gets better. Yeah, it's it's sort of like the part she's in now is like super painful, and when that subsides, she'll feel better and she can go to sleep. But all right, I might do that because I want to go make sure she's all right. All right, well then we'll just do 2 tomorrow night, okay? We'll just do both of the other ones tomorrow night. All right, I'll see you guys later, okay? Good night. I'll be back. We'll be back tomorrow, but we're going to be doing some early shows over the holidays too, because we can. So there's a lot of people who can't watch now because it's so late. Well, there'll be some early shows coming up. So, all right. Bye. Bye-bye. Good night.